show you 3 states of being, only 3 states. So you were created perfect. This is the 0 state. This is cause. This is the effect. So as long as you're 0, there's nothing. As long as you're 0 instantly, Jesus says, seek ye first the kingdom, then inspiration will show up. Well, inspiration does what? You have your talents. You're gracious, like Joe Vitale. One of the things by him, he's a gracious. I mean, so you really become Hawaiian at heart. You become clear, gracious. You become what the Hawaiians call, e koma mai, my house is your house. Or you can hang around with trash. This is memory replaying, and what you end up with is suffering, as my friend Buddha says, or as you hang around with disease. You hang around with problems. Now the only question is, which are you going to choose? Well, if we're stuck here, like I'm stuck most of the time, then I have to be 100% responsible. If I erase this, which is the cause, then I'm back to 0. And if I'm back to 0, then divinity will give me what I need, and will give everybody else in the Mother Earth, the ocean, the waters, the ants, the bees, everybody will get what they need. Yeah. So I'm going to pause to see if you have any questions. Yes. Oh, those New Zealanders, my gosh. You can't even understand them, you know? Yes, Robin, why don't you stand up so we can hear you?
Hello.
Yes.
My question is this, is if we clean, then we can go early.
Yes. Oh, you got it.
Got it.
I can go early too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hurry up, everybody. Let's clean up.
I paid her to say that. So please, I mean, I'm willing to entertain any question. Outside, for me, if you ask me, I would just clean. But in the room, we're here to be 100% responsible. Yes, please.
I have a question
Yes.
over here.
And can you tell me your name?
My name is Amy.
And can you tell me a little bit about your family?
About my family?
Yeah, Mama, Papa, where's the family, relatives, and ancestors?
Mom and Dad, Cuban, came from Cuba about 40 years ago. My mom passed away in March this year.
Okay.
And I'm one of these so-called healers, right? I'm seeking to heal myself through other people.
Yeah, but we're 100% responsible, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you say this, I think I understand, but I really don't. So now I find myself in a place where I feel like a complete fraud and totally confused. And
See, now the fact that you're saying that, you can erase it. I love you. Whatever's going on in me, and I feel like a fraud, I love you, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for coming up. Because you have to realize the only reason you and I are here is because to clean up our stuff. We're not here to do anything else. Yeah, and so as you're talking, hopefully everybody else was cleaning. Got my fingers crossed. Yeah. Because I am.
I have one more question for
Sure.
you. I have based, I guess, my whole entire existence around, or I guess I fooled myself into thinking that I'm very altruistic in my nature, and so now I feel like I want to help people, or I want to do something. So now I'm confused if the people who I help through my healing, through my spirituality, whatever, how can I do that if I erase, and then all my people will disappear? Well, hopefully that would be the point, right?
Afraid of our income, you know? Yeah.
No, because you know what? I'm not making any money anyway because I do it for free so much. Yeah. So you know.
Let me give you a story. There was a psychologist about 10 years ago, sort of talked to me about she would like to take the class, but she was afraid that after she'd learned to do the cleaning, nobody would show up. And I said to her, well, you're not working on anybody. You're only working on yourself. the people who think they're helping other people are a pain in the butts.
Thanks.
Absolute pain in the butts. Yeah, because if you help yourself first by being at zero, she would be at zero and she would be willing to pay you. But if you think you're helping them, you're going to get burned. Let me give you an example. There was a woman in Japan who raised her hand, and one of the things she said, I have an autistic child. Okay. Now, throughout the class, the weekend, occasionally she'd have a break, we'd have a break, and she'd come and talk to me, and she would say, can I do an energy work on you? So now I'm cleaning on that. Only divinity can do that. So I'm watching the cleaning, and what happened to her, she had an autistic child because of what she was doing. She was helping other people when in fact she should have been helping herself, and helping herself heal other people through her and get paid for it.
Okay.
So now my friend, Dr. Jarni Lee in Hilo, Hawaii, works only 3 days a week and travels a lot and makes a lot of money. I would have liked to have asked her for a commission, but I was slow on that. Yeah. But she makes all kinds of money being 100% responsible. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And that's something that you can do and get paid for doing. In other words, if you're willing to, if you have clients, if you're willing to work only on yourself, about them, you'll be fine. And you'll get paid. I would get paid. Why are you not getting paid?
And I would quickly point out that the concern about making money is actually one of the things you want to clean, and that when it's gone, the money shows up.
Shows up automatically.
Yes.
Tons. Yeah, I mean, tons. I have a client who I've had for 15 years. His income went from being kind of like 10, 20 million. Now he's worth $500 million. I keep saying to myself, I should have asked him for a commission on these things. Yeah. So, story is the data is only in you. And if you are willing to work only in the data in you, everybody else will be zero. If you're zero, everybody else will be zero. If you become inspiration, everybody else will. Everybody else will. How wonderful to know that. By healing, quotes, the memories in you, everybody else gets freed up and they can get whatever they came to do. Are we ready for a break, or am I too soon? Anybody else? Yes. Yes. Now you get to clean with this. Don't just sit there now. Hello, ladies. You get to clean with this. Oh, okay. Just thought I'd tell you that. Yes.
Hi, everybody. My name is Marcia. I'm Brazilian. Dr. Len, I've read the book, and I have a question. My husband is very ill. And
No.
It's my garbage.
Wait. Your husband is not ill. It's the data that's ill.
Okay.
The data in you and me and in them.
Okay, but it's a little bit difficult for me to understand. When you say you have to clean, it means I have to say the words in the book, I love you, thank you, I'm sorry.
Any of those will work.
Okay, but he's suffering a lot, pains daily.
No, it's the data that's pain.
Okay.
Not him. He's perfect. You got to get that. He's perfect. It's the data that's imperfect that he's experiencing, all of us. If you're sitting there not being 100% responsible, he'll continue to be sick, and we will too. I want to let you know something very important. You have extreme pain in you, but you're not conscious of it. I mean, you have extreme pain, but if you were aware of it, you would go bananas. So lucky you're not aware of it. Oh, yeah, extreme pain that you're not conscious. That's 15 million pain that you're not conscious of. And she's talking about this pain. So if you're all perfect, it's the data. That's what we got to get after. We got to get the data. So if she's willing to say, I love you, thank you, just nonstop, it'll go. I cannot imagine the divinity would not have it go. I can't imagine. At least it's not been my experience.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Give us a chance for all these people to be 100% responsible. Yes, back there.
To the ill husband, or you're talking to...
No, you're talking to the data.
To the data.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the data is the enemy. The data is the disease. Now, because we're willing to talk to our enemy, Jesus said, love your enemies. We're going to love the data to death. We're going to love it and consume the data. That's what love can do. But if you're thinking, coping, managing, not giving love an opportunity to do that, we just lost opportunity. Yes. Now you can clean with this one. Because this has to do with Alzheimer's. She may not know it, but behind it, I'm watching the Alzheimer's stuff come up. Now, any of you have anybody or know anybody with Alzheimer's? Yeah, see, you get a chance, because if you let it go, she's doing us a favor. Yes, ma'am.
I'm interested in this concept of mindfulness. Study it to some degree. And now I come here. This resonates with this concept of mindfulness. This is possibly too academic, but do you have a response on that?
Zero. Mindfulness is being at zero.
Yes, yes.
So Buddha talks at mindfulness being at zero, and out of zero you get enlightened. This is enlightenment. Yes. Inspiration is enlightenment. Enlightenment. That's what Buddha talked about. The whole thing about Buddha is being at zero, which means letting go of the suffering, and then being enlightened. But none of us do this. We're too busy thinking and coping.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joanne, you don't have a question. It looks like you might have something over there. Are you sure now? Why is it bubbling around you? There's something bubbling around you. No?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, okay. Anybody else, please? Yes.
My name is Pam, and I wondered, is there a place for doctors and psychologists and healers in the world?
What do you suppose, Pam? What would you do if you had a toothache?
I'd go to a dentist.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
But before I go to the dentist, I'm going to do my cleaning so the right dentist shows up. I'm not going to go to any dentist, because if I go to the dentist, it'll be hell to pay. So the idea is to be at zero, the right dentist will show up, and you will have great fun with them, as opposed to going like that. But the idea is you want to always make sure you're at zero, so the right opportunities and the right people. Yeah. So, too bad, we'll still have to hang around psychologists. Yeah. Yes? No, I want to hear it on the mic.
I'm still thinking about the cleaning on her sick husband, and you mentioned data and memories, and I think...
Did you hear it? Did you hear it talking?
Yes.
Well, how would you hear it talking if you weren't hearing data?
Whose data? Is it
yours?
Is it my data? When I'm cleaning, am I cleaning just my data, my memories? Is it universal memories and data of everyone here?
Why would you be interested if you're cleaning your stuff? And if you're free, I mean, why would you be interested if anybody else is free? If you're free, Tom, if you're absolutely free, why would you be concerned? Because when you look around, everybody else will be free. But it's because you aren't free, nobody else can be free.
It's all my problem.
Oh, that's what I'm expecting. Yeah, I'm here to say that. Just data.
Just data.
Yeah. So when you hear her, you don't hear her. You hear your data of her. This is your reacting. This is the veil that the great sages talk about, sages like Chaucer and Shakespeare. So you never hear, because if you came out of zero, let's say she began to talk, and as you talk, you began to clean. So let's say you talk, she's talking, and I begin my cleaning. Cleaning, just cleaning up my stuff. That's all I'm here to do. Okay, now inspiration comes up. and I will see as God sees. I will hear as God hears. I will act as God acts, because I'm moved by inspiration. But I can't be moved if I'm into bullshit. Really. Most of the time, we're just stuck in the data. So now you get a choice. You get to see as God sees, or you get to see as trash. So when she's talking, I'm cleaning already, because she's giving me a chance. That's why I'm here. I'm here going, I'm going to hear stuff I should be cleaning on. But I've been working on you folks for the last, how many weeks, Joe? Yeah. So Joe has been sending me the list. I've been working on it. So in case I bang you a couple times, you won't get angry. Yeah. Yeah. So she is doing us a favor that you and I didn't know we had this stuff in us. She speaks, wow, I get to clean. I get to be back to zero. She goes back to zero. Her husband will go back to zero. And divinity will give to him what's perfect and right for him, only because you and I were willing to be 100% responsible. You know? That's how great you can be, or just be a pain in the butt, Tom. You know? Do we get a break? One more question, maybe.
And then take a quick
Can you ask Joe Vitale one more question? Yeah.
Oh, all right. Make it an easy one, like what time is lunch or something like that.
There's so much of that in the subconscious. How do you know, or do you ever get to zero?
See, but you'll never get it because you're thinking now. You're trying to figure it all out, as opposed to just get to the cleaning. And if you did your cleaning, I can't imagine that divinity would not provide the right dentist.
Okay.
I can't imagine, if you were God and I did my cleaning, you would provide the right dentist. But we're always in, how do you know? How come? I mean,
that was a great answer.
Yeah. But can you tell us how you wrote the book?
I wrote it by being inspired. I wrote the book by not writing the book. Now, I've written a lot of books. Most of you know things like The Attractor Factor and some of my marketing-oriented books. But when it came time to write Zero Limits, and of course I was excited about it, I couldn't wait to write the book, I really felt like the hand of God directed my writing. It was one of the easiest writing experiences ever. It flowed. Every now and then I would pause and ask myself, what do you want me to say next? Well, what was I talking to? I was listening to inspiration coming through me. And I kept cleaning and cleaning, which is what I'm doing 24 hours a day, nonstop. And I'll tell you some stories about what's happened to me by continuously cleaning and allowing inspiration just to come through. And when inspiration comes through, I act. For the book, I just kept writing. I actually wrote it in a very quick time period. It seems like I wrote it in a couple weeks. And then I think we went to Poland. Well, I gave it to you to review. And by the time I came back, he had reviewed it. I went ahead and tweaked it a little bit, and the book was done. Not only that, when I sent the book to the publisher, now remember, I just finished the book and I sent it to the publisher, that book was listed on Amazon as a pre-publication book. Because of the clearing, because of the energy that I was putting into this, because of an article that was an excerpt from the book, that book became an Amazon bestseller 6 months before it was published.
Now, I tell you my part in it. So he sends it to me to look at. Well, there's no way I'm going to look at it. So I do my cleaning, and as I'm watching page after page, up to about 150, I heard Divinity say, put it away. This is done. Don't do any more. It's done. So I said to him, I'm done.
And I thought he read it.
But, you know, you're looking to clean because you're looking to have God read it. And as I was watching the eyes of God reading it, I heard really clearly, it's done already. Don't be messing around with it. Don't be trying to put a comma here. Don't. So I go, oh, okay. Like that. I literally had to tie my hands, you know? I would like to take a break.
Let's take a quick break.
And finally,
just like
the guy
5
looked
minutes.
at me and he says, "Are you a movie star?" And I thought, I don't know where this is going. And I said, I don't really know what you mean. I'm not really a movie star. He says, yeah, I think you are a movie star. And he says, I've seen you in a movie. And I said, okay, what was the movie? He said, Desperate Encounters. And I said, Desperate Encounters, what was that? And he said it was something with Kurt Russell and I think Harrison Ford. And I said, I was in that one? And he said, yeah, you were in that one. And I said, was I a good guy or a bad guy? He said, you were a bad guy. He said, you were a really good bad guy, but you were a bad guy. And I said, oh, really? And he said, yeah, I also saw you in Law and Order. Law and Order, the TV series, I've never even seen it, let alone been in it. And so I'm thinking, this guy has a different view of reality, and he's seeing whatever he expects because he did not believe me when I said I was not in those movies or TV shows. He had his own little programming that he had caught, his own data, and coming through him, through his eyes, and his opinion was I was just a celebrity movie star who didn't want to be recognized. This guy also said, you know, last week I picked up William Shatner. And I said, oh, really? I mean, we all love William Shatner, right? And I said, what was William Shatner like? And he said, oh, he was not a nice man. He said he tried to steal my wine glasses that he had in the back of the limo. I said, this doesn't sound like William Shatner. And I asked him, I said, how tall was the guy? And he said, like 6'4". And I said, you know, that's not William Shatner. And I said, did he say his name was William Shatner? And the guy said, no, he said his name was Bill Archer. He said, but I know it was really William Shatner. And I thought, boy, we got a doozy of a driver here. And of course, Narissa finally says, have you ever heard of the movie The Secret? And the guy says, no, I never heard of it. And Narissa says, that's the movie he's in. But by then, he thought we were fabricating a completely different story to hide the fact that I was actually in Law and Order and Desperate whatever. You know, this is the man who picked up Bill Archer, who thinks he's William Shatner. Bizarre. But in many ways, we're all doing that. In many ways, we're doing that. We're not doing it intentionally any more than he was doing it intentionally, but there is all of this data that's keeping us from being here. And that was playful data that makes a funny story, but it's still data. So what we're here to do today is to clean as much of that as possible. I have been doing nonstop cleaning to the best of my conscious ability ever since I took my first workshop with him, which is now, I think, 3 years ago. Mark would have to remind me. And for me, it is just saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you, nonstop. It has become my new self-talk. Now, all of you know what self-talk is on some level. You're doing it even right now. That's more of the data that's barking in your ears. And if you listen to your self-talk, it is amazingly critical. And if your best friend talked to you like that, or any family member, you would kill them. But you're talking to yourself. At least the data is talking to yourself in there. And what I've been working on is to replace that negative self-talk with, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. I don't say it in any particular order, but I do say it, and I am saying it right now. It's the background talk in the back of my head. When I was listening to him speak, it was going on in the back of my head as I'm standing over there. And as I keep doing this cleaning, inspiration is allowed to come through. One of the examples that I want to give you that happened recently, that I don't even think I showed you, is I was in a fitness contest at one point, and I wasn't drinking any margaritas or anything like that everybody else was drinking, and I was out with friends, and all of them were having a margarita while I was having ice water, and the average of margarita has like 700 to 1,000 calories in it, so it was really off limits. And I was frustrated, and I hit my fist down, and I said, what we really need is a bodybuilder's margarita, a fitness margarita of some sort. Where was that coming from? Where was that coming from? So that idea was coming to me, and when these ideas come, I think they come by grace. They come by a gift. They're coming, I think, from the zero, from the divine, from God. They're coming as a gift. And in that particular moment, I originally said it as a jokingly frustrated moment. But Narissa pointed out that that's actually a good idea. I'm known to follow through on things pretty well, almost to a scary degree. And I now have Fit-A-Rita. And Fit-A-Rita is the world's first healthy margarita mix. This has 6 calories in it. It has no sugar in it. It has no carbs in it. You add a shot of tequila, 6 ounces of water, this, you mix it all up, and you have a healthy margarita. Now, the predictions are, I'm going to make a whole lot of money. Well, it sounds like money as I shake it, actually. I'm hearing money. This is coming from inspiration. It is not me being strategic. It is not me trying to plan out, how can I create some sort of product and I'm going to make millions of dollars when I sell it. That's not working for me. And in fact, I'm at this point, and I talked to Dr. Hulan earlier, and I said, I no longer am creating the experiences in my life. I am agreeing to the experiences in my life. That is a dramatic difference. When I went on the Larry King show the first time, and some of you have heard this story, there were several people, Jack Canfield and James Ray and some other people that went on the show the same as me. And one of them slapped me on the back and said, man, I've been visualizing this moment for 6 years. And I said, oh, really? I've only been doing it for 2 weeks. And it was a playful little thing that I was doing with him, but the truth was I had never done it once. I had never tried to go on Larry King. I have never tried to visualize being on Larry King. That was never, ever one of my intentions. It came by grace. All of these things that have been happening to me recently, and there have been some amazing ones. I opened for Donald Trump in Chicago. They had actually called me 3 times wanting me to go and play. And I told them no the first 2 times because the inspiration in that moment said, you know what, they're not offering you what you really can get. Just say no. Now, on one level, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, this is really kind of crazy. I'm being asked to speak on the same stage before Donald Trump, and Joe Vitale is saying no? Who am I? But something in me just said, say no. Said no. They call a second time. They really want me. They offer more money, say I can speak less, and I don't have to sell anything on the stage. And I still said no, because something inside of me that felt like inspiration, that felt like it was coming from the whiteboard, said, no, that's not right. It's not, just don't settle. Just hang in there. They call a third time, and they say, we really want you to speak. We will pay you your full fee. You only have to speak for 30 minutes. We'll fly you and Narissa first class. We'll take care of all your expenses. You don't have to sell anything in the back of the room. Now will you do it? Yes. Yes. I have more and more of these experiences. Some of these stories I'll tell you over this weekend, where they're all coming from me constantly cleaning. Somebody had asked about what you're cleaning. And I wanted to point out that it doesn't matter what your focus is when you're cleaning, because you don't know what's really going on under the surface with all the data. It is so unimaginably complicated with all of this software wiring of the mind, with all these beliefs, all of this data, that you can't go and say, I have this heart problem, or whatever the problem happens to be, Alzheimer's or anything, because of what happened to you when you were 5 years old. You can't consciously pinpoint it. So the only thing you're left with is this wide sweeping eraser where you're cleaning everything. Whatever shows up, you're cleaning. And in my world, before it even shows up, I'm cleaning. And in fact, Dr. Hulan, he did repeatedly, every week, Suzanne will tell you, he wanted the list of who was going to be here. Because he was cleaning on that list, so when he got here in front of you, he would be as pure, as close to zero, as inspired as could be. He has done as much of his data cleaning as humanly possible in advance. So for me, the key message here is if you keep cleaning, you get closer and closer to the zero state, to the whiteboard. And as you get closer to the zero state, you're in a place where when divinity zero sends you an inspiration, you just go and do it. And there's no resistance to you to do it because that's been cleaned too. If there is a resistance, if you do have this urge to open a restaurant, to write a book, to go on a cruise, to do something in particular, and you delay doing it, it's because of some data. There's some data that's still just kind of floating through you, and you want to erase it. So for me, it's nonstop cleaning. I have occasionally somebody will write me and say, how often do I clean a day? Do I just do the I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you in the morning, and I'm done? And again, it's all up to you. For me, it doesn't ever end. And I also tell people, why would you want it to? If you're saying I love you in your head 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every month, why would you want that to end? If we all were saying this, and again, I'm the only one that has to say this, he will constantly remind me of that, but if we're all saying this, can you imagine the kind of vibe that would be around the planet? Walking around where in the back of your head you're going, I love you? And I think it would be even better if we all walked up and said, I love you, 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 and let everybody be concerned and curious and confused, and I love you, to everybody, just saying it out loud. I think that'd be a fun little experiment. We only have a few minutes before lunch, which is already set up for those who prepaid for it. Do you have a question or two that you can offer? He would love to have a question. he welcomes questions in this room, not over lunch, but he will over this room. Do you have a question or two? So I have a question. Oh, he's standing up with a question. Okay, right there, Craig.
Why did it make me angry being in this room in the last session?
One more time, so they can hear it and clean it.
I'm Jim.
Yes.
And I wondered, why was my reaction to the last section anger?
I have no idea, but I hope somebody's cleaning. We know it's got to be data, but what data? Who knows? And who cares? Oh. Yeah. Oh, please release me, let me go.
So a minute ago, Joe said, doesn't matter what the focus is as long as we're cleaning. Does there have to be a focus, or can we just be using it as a mantra? I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry.
That's sufficient.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. See, what you have to know is I only show you the 15 million, but there are billions. The 15 million, that is only per second. They drop down, more come up. But the data is ocean deep and mountain high. Yeah. I have somebody took the class, and in Dublin, I don't know where it was, Cork. And they sent me a picture of a monkey. And here's a picture of the monkey going like this. And it said, Tim realized with some horror that cleaning his way back to zero might take longer than he thought. One more question, because I'm really hungry.
Right here.
Yes.
I wanted to answer his question.
Sure.
If I may. I had the good fortune of attending the first Zero Limits seminar at Lake Travis earlier this year, and I sat next to you at the first seminar. The guy stood up and said, "Why am I so angry?" So I don't know the answer, but I'd be glad to talk to you after the session if you'd like to talk about it.
Yeah. Talk to him. Anybody? We got 2 minutes. Yeah. You ever notice the same people ask questions? Yeah. Please don't feel insulted. I'm just saying that, you know? Yeah.
I would like to know why other hospitals aren't trying this out. I mean, that's
because
such
they're like you.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would try it.
I know, but they're like you. Not me. I would do it. I wouldn't try it. I would just do it. Okay. See, right now at Hawaii State Hospital today, they have a lawsuit because now social workers and people like that are being beaten up on by patients. That's what happens when you don't take 100% responsibility. They'll beat up on you. That's what happens with women. They get beaten up on because they don't take 100% responsibility. I was giving a talk years ago to a group of women who are therapists. And I heard as I was cleaning, they're not going to invite you back again. I heard it even before I showed up. So it came around, and finally a question was asked. And the same question asked in Japan. I just got back from Japan. And the question is, how come women don't get more presidency of corporate America? Well, because they're not 100% responsible. That's the bottom line. But if they were willing to clean up that stuff, they would run the country. But they're too pissed off. Too pissed off. Yeah, you know, they have activists or like that, but it doesn't clean up the act. Doesn't clean it up. I had a nurse at Hawaii State Hospital. She was always ticked off. I mean, she'd come to work and the whole ward would just go crazy with her on the ward. So I just noticed that, and I said, I just noticed that every time I'm present, everybody goes nuts. So I began to work on it and work on it and work. A year later, it all settled down, and she and I got to be good friends because I was willing to be 100% responsible. The ward settled down. She was fine. They promoted her to some training position, but see, somebody has to be responsible. And I'm going to read something, and then we'll take a break. I got this when I was in Germany doing a class there, and somebody gave it to me, and I would read it. This is about you folks. And it'll be a good time to go on a break. It's called, the thing is called, That's Not My Job. There was a story about 4 people named everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. There was an important job to be done, and everybody was sure that somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought that anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done. And I'm coming back. If the women are going to wait up on the guys, you got a long wait. So do your cleaning and take over. I mean, really, you can take over this country. But you bitch and moan and groan, and it just goes on over and over. So if you get a chance to eat strawberries today, it will help with depression. Really. Strawberries, it will help with cleaning up depression. Because that's the problem that women have. They just feel down and out because they never get a chance. But I'm saying to you, the best way to go is don't be bitchy. Just clean it up, and you'll be fine. Because if you're waiting up on us,